We'll talk more later. She is adored by her students. You see it displayed in her classroom by the numerous posters of student photos from her classes throughout the years. She has been selected to be an influential educator by a number of students. They are always asking her to write letters of recommendations. Students will come to her if they need help with assignments from other classes, life advice, and sometimes just a hug. She is often requested by parents as a teacher for their child, often because other parents have recommended her as a teacher. She takes student athletes who are struggling both at school and home, and she becomes a mentor to them, making sure they are taken care of both in and out of school. She has several invitations from former students who graduated from Brown University and various medical schools posted in her classroom. She has the highest qualifying score rate out of all the AP science classes at the high school. She was nominated by her colleagues and received JC's Educator of the Year Award in 2010. A student says, "It is because of her class, I have developed a great interest in science. She is always so excited about teaching her lessons, whether it is in chemistry or environmental science. Being one of her students is truly a privilege. She has encouraged me to do my best in everything that I do. She pushes her students to their full potential. There is no slacking when in her class. She has taught me that when you want something, you need to work for it. And you need to work really hard too." Tonight, she taught me structure and showed me how to be a kind person even in a negative situation. I feel like she was always one of many who prepared me, but one of the main ones who touched my life. She is skilled at helping her students one-on-one. She is in her classroom early and is always available after school. She is a very proud Hobbs Eagle. This woman is more than a teacher. She is someone who constantly has an open door to struggling students and extra time to dedicate herself to students inside and outside the classroom. Before enrolling in pre-AP chemistry, I, as a student, was very intimidated by the difficulty presented with the subject. And now I feel I can easily say I have never obtained a clearer understanding and appreciation for a field of study. She is easily the most influential teacher I have ever had the privilege of knowing, and really makes me, along with the rest of the student body, grateful to be a student at Hobbs High. There truly exists a lack of words to capture how dedicated and bright she is to all she meets and instructs. Her students adore her and love her quick wit. It is very rare to have a teacher to connect to the students as she does. She is a successful teacher year in and year out with Hobbs High School's most challenging students, as well as the students that love science. She is caring, compassionate, organized, dedicated, and loves her subject area. She also serves as assistant cross-country coach and positively impacts kids that participate in this extracurricular activity. When the department needed to attend the training and professional development activities necessary to teach advanced placement environmental science, she stepped forward, assumed the responsibility for the class, and worked to grow the program into one of the most successful in the department. She is involved within the community, serving on city boards and committees. She sees that service is a way to not only benefit the city, but to interact with students and parents outside the school setting in an effort to understand their needs and situations. I am personally aware that recently one of her students, who had opted to leave the traditional classroom for family reasons to attend the alternate school to complete his high school education, died in an unfortunate circumstance. She used the first class meeting after the student's death to share her concern and caring for the students in that class who were his friends, and to help them understand how vulnerable they really are. She understands school is not just a place for students to learn the curriculum. It is a place for them to learn the value of life and their importance to others. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Karen Jackson. She's taught 26 years at Hobbs High School. My son has epilepsy, autism, and ADHD. Needless to say, he is a child with a lot of special needs. We could not have asked for a better teacher to watch over and guide him than her. My son had a convulsive seizure during class with her one day. She reacted perfectly by lying him on the ground on his side, timing the seizure to let the EMTs know how long it lasted, and having another teacher go to the office to call 911 in me. She also safeguarded my son's dignity during the seizure by removing the other students from the classroom. She knew to do all of this for him because she had taken the time to visit with us on multiple occasions, and she had educated herself about epilepsy and my son's particular version of that disease. She is the kind of teacher I want my kids to have every year. A teacher with passion for what she does and compassion for the kids she touches every day. She has become a beacon of light, shining for all who are open and even those who are not. She has an infectious aura that is present wherever she goes. It is an amazing sight to behold when you see a student's outlook on life make a 180-degree turnaround, when they shift from exuding negativity to a more positive outlook on themselves and life. It is truly remarkable. A record of bringing below-level reading students up to and surpassing second grade levels was outstanding. She attended a deaf school, week-long training in the summer on her own time in order to prepare for a student assigned to her. She did not allow his handicap to influence his learning and insisted that he achieve the high levels expected of all her students. His growth was exceptional. She has never had a fear of taking the bull by the horns. Serving on a committee with her meant you were going to get busy right away and complete your assignment long before due date. If she was put in charge of a project, everyone knew it would be completed and it would be done correctly. Her students are required to come up with a business and create signs, business cards, a product or service to sell, a budget, etc., to learn how a business runs and everything that is required. The student also has to find a house, a car, etc., based on their income and decide if it is feasible or not. Students are introduced to real-life skills that will be valuable in the real world. I was in her second grade class. I was very nervous going to second grade, but she made me feel welcome in her class. I had a rough time during second grade. She was a very strict teacher, but a very good one. I'm in sixth grade now, and ever since second grade, she has been my favorite teacher. I also think in school, every time I'm about to do something stupid, I say to myself, if I do this, what would she think? She was always like a mom to me. I can speak for everyone in school that she is the most amazing teacher ever. She is the funniest person ever. She once made us do towers with spaghetti and marshmallows, and we had to carry it to the end of the class without dropping it. She has the best sense of humor ever. And she is also famous. Because her picture is on Google. Why is your picture on Google? She taught us about life. We learned things that some grown-ups can't even do. We learned college grade things that we will need for our future. She taught us that we could do anything that we could put our mind to. No matter how hard, she always told us we could do it. She is the only teacher I have ever seen get kids excited to even read the news. Sorry, Daniel. Countless kids with a much rougher background than mine have found a second mom in her. You're the best tech lap teacher I know. When I was in your class, I thought it was going to be very boring. When I started, I was very lost. But you were there for me, so I'm going to be there for you. You're the best teacher. You're so beautiful and wonderful and nice. You don't teach from the book. You teach from your heart, because I know you love teaching us and care about us. I thank you for all the teaching and all the hard work you do. I will never forget you. No wonder you're so popular. You're awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Jody Day, 22 years in the top school system. She's currently Houston Middle School teaching business technology lab, 7th and 8th grade. And like I said before, in the past 6 second grades at Sanger Elementary. Jody. Okay, where is that person? Señora, es muy respetuosa con sus alumnos, con los papás y con toda la gente. ¿Está bien? That's been the hardest thing I've had to work all week. I'm going to frame that. When I think of my first grade teacher, it brings a huge smile to my face. This woman has truly impacted my life, not only by being my first grade teacher, but as a mother. The reason why I say mother is because teachers are basically our moms, because they are the ones who teach us ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. I would truly like to say to her, I love you, and I miss you, and I wish I could be your first grader all over again. God bless you, and go Eagles. I've been fortunate to have had 3 of my kids go through her class. Not only is she a gifted teacher, she is a wonderful person. She displays the character of someone who would want your kids to spend 8 hours a day with. You would want your kids to spend 8 hours a day with. From my experience of having my 3 boys in her 3rd grade class, I can honestly say all 3 of my kids have all left her class better prepared for the next year than all other times before. And that is not a shot at the other teachers. It is a testament of how great of a teacher and person she is. All the kids seem at peace while in her room. She is a great, great teacher, a wonderful person, and I challenge you to not only take my word for it, but walk into her room for yourself and see if you will not walk out feeling the same. My son wears a hearing aid for his right ear, and that meant extra work for her because he needed to sit where he could hear, and when he would forget to wear his hearing aid, she had to make sure he was paying attention. She did not mind the extra work and kept extra batteries in her desk for him. My son is an 8th grader this year, and she still checks on him to make sure he is doing it well. My other son would come home bragging that his class worked harder and the results were higher grades, and that some people had even come to visit his class because their grades were so good. She believes in all her students and pushes them to succeed. Both my sons rate her as one of their favorite teachers. I have witnessed firsthand how she goes beyond her call of duty. My daughter was having trouble in math, and she helped her by tutoring, one-on-one, flashcards, and communicating with me. My daughter demonstrated tremendous growth on her short cycle assessment and is now proficient. She will do anything for her students and makes my job as a parent easier when it comes to education. She has shown me what it means to truly be an educator. Her work ethic, dedication, and most importantly, her passion for this job is nothing short of perfect. I was not only blessed enough to be her colleague, but her mentee. As a first-year teacher, I was afraid of the struggles that I would face throughout the year. She made me feel more than welcome in several different ways. One time, I came in a few minutes early, and the students were recognizing one student who had accomplished a task with a bow down. They were bowing down to this student who had struggled with a task and had finally succeeded. That student was beaming with pride. Wow, not only did he finally do it correctly, his teacher recognized it, and so did his peers. She has students do twinkle fingers, the Elvis shake, and the Elvis guitar player. These are the little things students will remember. A student came to this country as a political refugee from Mexico due to the violence inflicted on his family. He was quiet and withdrawn. Through her writing lessons, her gentle guidance, respect, and patience, he was able to express and release some of what he had witnessed. As he was able to release, he was able to open up and connect with the students. This is just one example of her devotion to teaching and the well-being of each child lucky enough to spend a year with her. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Ida Garcia Jefferson Elementary. So before we continue, I want to acknowledge and thank all of you that let us into your life. It's hard for someone who's not in the classroom. When I was in the classroom, I think I was the one getting attention for the wrong reason. But for those of us that are educators, it's a pretty powerful thing to see how you all connect. And thank us for using you as an example to the future teachers in Hobbs. And I know you're not all comfortable with the spotlight, but it's sometimes necessary. And what you do is so heartfelt. I heard that there are some things not good with some of our educational systems in the state today. I don't know what they're talking about. But when you see this kind of personal connect, it certainly makes me want to try a lot harder to support our teachers. So I just want to thank you for letting us kind of impose on you to put you out there publicly, but you're making, as an example, you're making a difference. So one other business. Last year, the Veteto Foundation did what is called a Director's Award. And what that means is